Hey Sales World, today we're going to talk about what are you really selling? And that can be a surprisingly difficult question to answer for some businesses. When a potential customer comes to visit you, whether it is in store or online, they're expecting or looking for a specific outcome. And that's what a business is really selling. By knowing the actual outcomes you provide to your potential customers, once you understand the specifics for each individual sales action, you can frame your message to highlight the value that would be relevant in their lives. Once I understood this and learned this in my role as an enterprise salesperson, it dramatically helped me close more sales independent of what business I've been working in. If you're on a journey of improving your sales education, I recommend hitting subscribe to my channel. What I'll be doing is releasing content regularly along the spectrum of interactions with every customer on their buying journey towards purchasing. If we haven't met yet, my name's Gavin. I've been in sales for more than 20 years. I've been in B2B sales for the last 15 and enterprise B2B SaaS sales for the last 8. I've noticed that most businesses, salespeople, and startups, when they approach a sales opportunity, they're approaching it from their perspective when they go to a customer. And that's one of the reasons I started this channel, to fundamentally change the perspective of how people see sales interactions. So the fundamental philosophy in which I approach every sales opportunity is the customer first needs to decide to buy before we can sell anything. It's a fundamental truth across all forms of sale, no matter what industry. You simply can't sell something until someone decides to buy. So therefore, it makes complete sense and obvious sense to approach the opportunity from the value perspective of what a customer will get from you. And it's one of the most fundamental flaws I see in any business today. And that's why we have to understand what we are really selling. Or more importantly, what is the customer expecting to buy when they purchase you? Now, this is the same for if you're working in the car industry or the software industry. People expect an outcome. So let's get into it. Now, if you're a business and you're approaching the market, your possibilities are infinite. So that's why it's really important to understand your ideal client profile or the target market you want to approach. Now, standard literature out there says define your target markets, like the age group, the company size, the amount of people within the business. That's a standard target market definition. But this goes a little further in understanding the problems that exist within inside a business, or people for that fact. So once you understand the broad problems that exist in that industry, that will give you the tools to start tailoring your value proposition that might apply to a number of those scenarios. But it's important in every opportunity to find the nuance in each person's requirements or each business's requirements. Anyone in the B2B world knows that there is no two organizations the same, like there are no two people the same. So we must understand the nuance in each one of those opportunities to tailor our messaging appropriately to maximize our value proposition. And it's important to develop strategies around each one of those problems that exist in the industry. So we have a ready-made toolbox of stories to share with our potential clients about the problems that may exist and how you can solve them. So let's talk about two scenarios where we understand the broad problems or the broad challenges in an industry to two businesses and how our value proposition will slightly change in each scenario. So the first scenario I'm going to use is buying a car. About 3 years ago, I went into a car yard looking for a four-wheel drive. Now, if you profiled me back then as about a 40-year-old man, married, looking for a four-wheel drive, you could be mistaken by thinking that I wanted that to go four-wheel driving. And that's not untrue, but that wasn't my primary driver for this sale. The main reason for the sale is my wife was pregnant and I wanted my wife and my daughter to be completely safe while driving on the road, particularly when I wasn't with them. So my main driver was getting a larger car, so if they did happen to be in an accident, they would be far more protected. And the secondary reason was to go forward driving. But if a salesperson approached that interaction and made an assumption that I had disposable income, I wanted to go forward driving, and didn't highlight the safety features of that car, then they may have missed the nuance in that opportunity and I may have gone somewhere else. So furthermore, they may have been able to throw in or include, hey, fixed cap servicing, we've got a 5-year warranty and roadside assistance. So if anything happens to your wife and child while they're in the car, we will fully support you to make sure that they're not left alone out on the road. And that would have been a very appealing piece of value that they may have missed in that interaction to get me to buy. If that is simply focused on forward driving, how it went off-road, has a high clearance on the bottom of the car, if that's what it's called, I don't know, then they may have missed that nuance in that opportunity. Now, another recent example is a great company called Redditus. They're an affiliate partner program. I recently went through a deep dive with the founder on let's look at the size of the organizations that are typically buying you. So in our discovery, we found roughly more than 10 people in a business is when they start looking at a partner and affiliate program. Now, if we use that as a broad category, we would have missed the nuance. There was 2 opportunities that Joran is his name, the founder, we went through. On one scenario, they had more than 5 people in the business, which is a lot for 10, understood, but they had a really high tenure of people within their business, typically more than 2 years. So they were looking to add an additional revenue stream to supplement a really stable sales force. On the other scenario there was a company with 11 people, really low tenure of salespeople, it was less than 2 months. So they didn't really have a sales force. So they were implementing an affiliate or partner program to generate a more stable stream of income that's not dependent on salespeople. Without actually understanding the particular problems within the business, Joran would have had a real difficult time in structuring his value proposition to align with those 2 polar opposite requirements or scenarios. The outcomes are the same, but you're really tailoring your messaging to apply to those different scenarios. Now, once we understand the problems within a business, we can create stories or tailor our messaging to help our potential clients see what their current state in the business is and then what the end state of the business is. Now, if we think about a sale is a business or a person deciding to buy you, but they have to go on a journey from they don't know who you are. And it's often not a binary choice, which means they don't often go, no, I won't buy you, to yes, I'll buy you. There's a series of steps along the way. So one of the things about salespeople or startups is we have to structure our stories to account for the beginning of our prospect or potential client starting point. They don't know who we are. Then we need to deliver messaging and stories to show that we've actually taken other clients on a similar journey. They're in safe hands. We know how to do this, and actually give them the confidence to let us lead them to the right sales outcomes. Now, if you don't have any clients, that's fine. People are always going to start from that perspective. But you can use your story to say, hey, my intention is for companies in this position to help them through the journey this way for these reasons and get them to that outcome. And if you're a single founder or something like that, you can pledge you as a founder will personally help them through that journey, and then you could gather those anecdotal stories as you go and use them for the client or potential clients tomorrow. Now, one of the reasons that we want to structure our messaging this way,
from instead of talking about the features of something like a car, like a four-wheel drive, is to say, hey, the feature, it can go four-wheel driving, it has a car stereo, it does all sorts of car stuff. Or if you're selling a CRM, a sales CRM, how it helps you record calls and things like that. This is our perspective as salespeople looking out. One of the reasons we want to change that messaging is because we want to create an aha moment. Now, an aha moment, or I call it a holy shit moment, they see the value. If you see that happening within a business or a person within a business, you have successfully demonstrated the transition from their current state or to their outcome that they're looking to achieve. If you can imagine yourself in that scenario, if someone is demonstrating something to you, or if you see something, what would make you go, oh wow, or holy shit, like go, wow, I did not expect that to happen from that interaction with you. I can see the path to success. And that's basically what that aha moment is. If you work in the B2B world or software sales, or you sell something complex to an organization, you know that there is pain and frustration associated with buying something. Or you know there's pain and frustration with implementing something within a business. There is well documented information on this. It's called the Valley of Despair. An organization, if they purchase here, they will go down and come back up over a period of time. They have to see the outcome to be greater than that valley of despair. If they don't, they just simply won't move forward. If it's a like for like trade-off, they go, look, it's not actually worth us transitioning. I just don't think we'll get the value from it. So it's by framing your message the other way to know what you're really selling and demonstrating those direct and indirect benefits that they will get from implementing your solution. Then you really paint the picture of the value that they'll provide, and that will increase your chances of getting the aha moment, or them going, yeah, wow, I really want this within my business, or in my case, I really want this four-wheel drive in my life because I don't care about the price. I want my wife and child to be safe. We have to remember, even in the business world, people buy an emotion first and business logic second. That's one of the biggest mistakes people make in the B2B world. They think it's all logic based. It's actually not. It's largely driven by emotion first and then business logic second. So this video today was really about understanding what you're really selling. By understanding what you're really selling, you're helping your potential clients get the outcomes they're looking for, and you can frame your message accordingly. We should have a really good understanding of how to frame our value proposition in accordance to the problems that exist in our target markets or ideal client profiles. But we should also confirm and uncover the nuances that exist in every opportunity where we enter into. Because as we know, every person is different, as well as every business is different also. So their needs are slightly different. Remember, we need to chase the aha moment. To chase the aha moment, we need our clients to see the change from their current state to their end state and the value that you'll provide. It's only by then will there ever be a chance of them coming on as a client. If they see it as a like for like swap, then that's probably not enough to get them over the line. And it's certainly not enough to build a consistent pipeline of sales within your business. We need to demonstrate demonstrable value, and that is done by focusing on customer outcomes using your product, not them purchasing your product alone. Now, I've written a book called Startup Sales Secrets. If you want to get your free copy, it's in the comments below. It's about developing a sales strategy using 3 core principles in your business. And if you're not a startup, it still applies to you because these 3 core principles are based off first principles that are timeless. So grab your copy below. And remember, if you like this video and you're looking to improve your sales education along the customer decision-making journey, please hit subscribe and like this video, and you'll be notified every time a video comes out. So until next time, I'll see you later.